All right. I forgot to go live. But anyway, um, I'm going to redo this battery thing, man, just because, I don't know, it wasn't giving me quite the right kind of amperage that I was looking for some reason. It was telling me there was something wrong with one of my batteries, but I'm not sure which one it was. I don't know. Let me get a Christian wrench. And anyway, I was going to work on my truck, but some other things with the other dude came up. So, uh, Sorry. I'm gonna go get that other one. I think that one's okay. Let's see if I can put that in line. There we go. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Where do I want to stick that? At the very end there. I guess I can put it right here at the end. Well, wait a minute. Let me. What's up, Tom? Yeah, I'm just fucking around. I'm trying to get some. My batteries are not really. When I key up on my radio, it's not giving me the amperage that I need. It was telling me there was something like in line when it comes down to my batteries. They're not charging like they should. You know, like a cell's dead or something. So I didn't find anything initially when I checked in each individual battery. So I'm just kind of switching things around now, just kind of moving the batteries around um, and wiring things back up and see see what's going on with everything. Um, I should be getting like over 12 volts or, 11 and a half, 12 volts or 13 volts or something like that. I'm getting less than that when I key up. So something's not quite jiving right. So me not being tech and all, I'm just going to kind of move things around and see what happens. See if I can get it back the way it was. And maybe all it needed was like some things fucking cleaned up and it's been a while since I've actually did some maintenance to my batteries and stuff. Should do it a lot more often, but I don't for some reason. Sorry about the jiggling. Yeah, yeah, you like all this tapping and stuff like that with my crescent wrench, yeah, because that's a multi-purpose tool. It's not really good for the tool, but it can be used as some kind of a blunt trauma type force. And do a little tap it in. Just tap and it's a little tapper. Just tap it. Tap it, tap it, tap it, tap it. All right. Let's put that one back in line, I think. Let me double check that one real quick. Make sure everybody's still where they need to be. All right. That one's at, and that was at 12. All right, that's at 12. At 12. Oh, wow. Damn. Shit, that one's down to 6. I can't put that one in line. All right. I thought that one was all right. I just had it on the fucking drum. All right. All right, so let me double check these. What do I got here? Wait a minute. Yeah, I got 6 volts on that one. Okay, I got 13 volts on that one. 13. Okay, 13. Okay. That one I just had on the charger is fucked. For some reason, barely had it off the charger. Was a shit. It dropped all its voltage with no time flat. So, how do I want to hook this up? That one has got, since that one's got that damn thing, it's got to be on the end somewhere. Gotta have this one on the end somewhere. All right, let me see here. I don't want to hook these up. Nope, not that one. This one. I am not an electrician or an expert at this stuff, so I don't care what anybody else says. If I can get it to work, I'll get it to work somehow. It might not be exactly how it should be done, but I'll get something to work. Maybe I'll go this way instead. Yep, I wanted to go that way instead. Yeah, that's right. Let's just check a couple things real quick. See if it's still acting the same after a few tries. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, wait a minute. It is getting warm in here. All right. Let's see here.
7 p.m. last night on the radio
Audio. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. I don't like it. Audio. Audio. Unless, I don't know. Unless that trickle charger of mine is just, it's charging. So, I don't know. Let's do 12 amp. Let's just see what happens with that. Real quick. Audio. audio, 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 audio. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 1 1 1 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 audio, audio. I don't like how it's getting down to 10.5 when I do that. Hello, audio, audio, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 audio, 1 2 1 2 audio. Yeah, I'm not drawing. I was drawing. My amperage was going down to like 10 volts on my batteries. So what I was doing is I kind of rearranged everything, my batteries, figured out which ones, if any of them are messing up or getting, they're not holding the charge, and kind of rearranged everything a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit, kind of set everything in a different spot or whatever. And trying to get them all, basically, they're all different, just trying to get them all balanced, basically, without a balancer, just trying to get them all to kind of balance out right. And I'm gonna keep it on 25 amp for a little while. See if that'll work. That one did not hold a charge. These two did not hold a charge. So let's throw another battery on the charger. See if I can get one of these to fucking hold a fucking charge. Eventually, if I can afford it, man, I'll turn to that fucking lithium fucking capacitors. That's another thing too I'm going to experiment with. using some capacitors off of microwaves, kind of throw that in line and kind of help with the load. Let's do that one. So, yeah, there's these lithium capacitors, man. Basically little batteries. Put a bunch of them together, you get 12-volt systems and stuff. Really freaking cool. Take up way up less space. I could get in these two boxes, for instance, if I did nothing but battery system in these two boxes, especially if I did the lithium shit, dude, I just have to work out the whole fucking charging system and all that shit. But I don't know. How many of them are deep cycle? I don't think any of them are deep cycle. That's the thing. It's like they're all like car batteries. It's all I could get a hold of, like old car batteries that I've reconditioned or whatever, or made, where they'll hold the charge again. Some of them were brand new that I got off of a fucking deal. But yeah, they're car batteries, but I'm gonna. Well, at the moment, see, right now I've just got this trickle charger. At the moment, while I'm still on the grid, I got this trickle charger to keep everything topped off while I'm using it for my radio stuff. Because this is all my radio shit. This is how my radio is being run off of my batteries. But I got solar panels right there. They're not very good, but that's 100 watts or a little less than 100 watts with solar in sun to help top off the things when I need to. But at that rate, I can do only mostly listening instead of transmitting. I can't keep up with it when it comes down to the solar, when it comes down to transmitting a lot. But receive, I can do all day long. It doesn't take very much draw off of those when it comes down to receive. It just draws a lot when it comes down to transmit. Audio 1 2 3 1 2 3 audio 1 2 3 ABC 1 2 3 ABC 1 2 3. All right, that's a little bit better. Maybe I can get these things to charge up fully and fucking hold their charge and balance themselves out in a sense. That's the idea anyway. And like I said, I mean, on a lot of stuff, man, especially on lithium, you got to think about balancers and shit. I've been looking into it, man. There's some guys, man, that are into the radio stuff too, man, and do a lot of them shootouts. Let me tell you something, man. Or like run rigs, and they run big rigs and stuff, man, and they just want to switch everything from lead acid to fucking lithium. It's pretty badass, man. And then what they're able to do with that in such a small package, which is freaking awesome. And but I'm thinking like even just on recycling, I can probably make like a capacitor bank out of a few of these capacitors out of these old microwaves and put that in line. So when I key up, it actually will draw a majority of the amperage that it needs or whatever right off the bat. Off of those capacitors before it hits the batteries. And that's kind of my thinking in my head. I don't know. Anyway, Um, so I don't know. It's something I'm gonna experiment. I'm gonna experiment with eventually too. But cause let's see here. I got some. What I can do is take the capacitors out of like 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I got another one somewhere. But yeah, at least four capacitors stuck together as one capacitor basically, and put that in line. So when I key up, it draws from those capacitors first. That's the idea in my head. So I'm thinking like it won't draw all that amperage straight off the batteries all the time. It'll actually hit that capacitor first, and that's easier to recharge than the batteries are. And unless I get long-winded, that's the thing too. It's like I get long-winded, and then it'll go into the batteries. But like on a short burst and stuff, I'm thinking it'll hit nothing but capacitor, and it won't even touch the batteries yet. I don't know. It's an idea in my mind. I'm thinking if anybody in there is like a tech type of thing, um, let me know. I mean, I'm just kind of thinking outside the box kind of thing, using whatever I can, and I think it'll work. It'll probably work. It won't be the best thing, and it won't be it won't be like what you're supposed to do, but it'll probably work. So I can probably get it to work. And let's see here. Walk back over here. I can probably get it to work. The the other side project that's in the back of my mind is figuring out different alternate ways of charging this and keeping it charged. Even if I fucking get long-winded and help keep up the charge so I don't drain these batteries, just help keep up at the same time. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I can get all of these charged, and I can probably keep it back down to the 2 amp trickle charger, and I'll be all right, because that's what it was doing all right for a while. So maybe I can. That's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking out loud, y'all. Shocking. Yeah. Well, see, that's another thing too. I was like those car audio capacitors. I've got one of those somewhere. I'm thinking about also using that, if not using that alone. I've used those in my car with my CB, because it actually helped a little bit, because I was hitting the capacitor first before it hit my battery, and it actually cut down some of the engine noise, and also some of the noise coming off the spark plugs and the alternator and shit. So it actually helped a little bit on that. But then I'm also thinking for this system, not only one of those fucking audio can capacitors, um, using some of those capacitors that are those microwaves. They're high rating and shit is way more than I need. You know what I mean? It'd probably be pretty good. It'd probably store a lot of energy in those capacitors that I could probably use, you know, um, versus this. I don't know. I just want to try to maintain these things where they stay alive a lot longer. If I can use some other ways along with it, some other technology, capacitors wise, for instance, that's in line, like in ahead of everything. You know what I mean? So it gets charged first because it will charge up faster. And these will just and the capacitor just be up here in the front, so it'll get hit first before any of these even got touched. So they'll hold their charge like they should, because once they get down to a certain level, that thing will kick in at 2 amps, trickle charging it back up. All right. And then when it's fully charged, it'll shut down and stop charging. So these stay topped off pretty much, unless I'm keying up a lot and all that stuff. They get drained a little bit. It works that a little bit harder because it tries to keep up, especially if I only have it on the 2 amp trickle charge setting. So, but that's when I'm not like getting all nuts and fucking talking a lot. If I'm talking a lot, I got to have something and kind of keep up. So that's why I'm thinking the capacitor's in line, because then I can just, I won't have to keep up so much with these, because these will drain. Once they get down to halfway, boom, they're pretty much a dead battery. And these are all as one 12-volt system. This is all just hooked up the way I've got it hooked up. This is all just one 12-volt system. Well, actually 13 volts or something, like close to 13 volts or some shit. All right. Yeah, right, Steve. But the thing, yeah, I'm not all that technical stuff. I know a little bit, you know what I mean, and I fool around with here and there, and I kind of know what works, this and that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this looks all kind of redneck and shit, but this is about as good as it's gonna get right now. Some of this actually could be improved. As now this wire is going in, I can definitely do something different with that. What I should do is put how I see. I got was that PEX water tubing. That's what I got my coax to my antenna inside of it. And I think I should do that to this wire that's coming out of here. And that goes up into the house. Um, Help protect the wire a little bit better anyway. That's what I should do. I haven't done that yet. Um, but let's see here. There's a couple of things that I can improve on this thing, especially because eventually I want to get this box set up to where I can have like a whole nother bank of batteries in that one. But if I move to lithium, dude, I'm telling you, man, if I had these boxes with lithium batteries in it, dude, this would power a 3-story fucking, home, this would be enough battery. This would be enough amp hours to power, a huge house. If I had this with lithium instead of these fucking uh lead acid batteries, because I can fit shit. I can fit a lot of lithium batteries in there. I mean, even if I just started there to the other end and did the whole thing on that end and just left this spot open to like put whatever else kind of charging shit or whatever else I want to put in there, just have that little space there for that. Dude, that'd be badass. But it's a lot of money, dude. I mean, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. I've seen some really cool stuff, man, that's coming out when it comes down to some of this technology, especially like the capacitor lithium shit and all that stuff, man. I've seen some pretty cool stuff. You know, a lithium battery basically it'd be like a third, no, 2/3 the size of that regular battery, and so it takes up that less space. It's lighter. Um, Instead of a lead acid battery, like once this goes about to half full, it's a dead battery. Lithium, you can take that all the way down to 0, and then it's a dead battery. And it likes to take multiple charges and shit. That's another thing too. I mean, you got to do it right. See, that's another thing too. If I did it in this thing, I'd have to switch a lot of things around. Some things I'd have to definitely do some stuff a little bit different. But yeah, most likely, if that's what it is, really just money. Really just comes down to fucking money. Um, a lot of this stuff that I got here is from, other jobs. So I got them for, close to nothing when it comes down to a lot of parts and stuff. Um, Now there are some things that I have to. I'm actually probably going to now make some, but the connectors between the batteries. Um, I got to make some of those up, or I got to turn around and buy them already made up. And then when it comes down to the batteries, the batteries are fucking expensive. Charging, and then like if I get into some other stuff. See, now these are old batteries though. There's a couple more that I need to try out. They've been sitting for so long, and they've lost a lot of charge. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold the charge anymore. I don't know. But these are complete. Those two are dead. This one's down to 6 volts. And I've got this one kind of cranked up on the charge just so I can get them all kind of up to like 14 some odd volts or some shit. And do a little bit of talking on the radio and see if I can get them kind of like all kind of balance themselves out in a sense. And charging is one, and discharging is one. Yeah. That reminds me, hold on. I did put the link in there if anybody did want to pop up, because I'm just bored. I'm not bored, but I mean, I don't mind talking to anybody. Where did I put them? Yeah, I just did. I just did. I just pinned it. I put it up there earlier, because I was going to go work on my truck, but dude that was going to help me do that um, ended up having to do something else. So I am doing whatever else I can do. Let's see here. Let me see if I can read this shit. Fuck off. I don't even. Who are you anyway, man? Sure as hell, man. I'm telling you, I don't want to see no wieners. I've seen you in the chat a couple times, but let me see. Here. Jamie, who? Show me a face or something. I don't know you. I've never met you before. I don't know. You know what's going on. There's too many damn channels that keep on getting fucking porn bombs, especially by people that. Uh, oh, what's going on, man? All right, man. I'll allow for now.
What's up?
What's going on, man?
Evening.
Same shit every day.
How are you?
You don't remember me, do you, Wingnut?
Say what?
You don't remember me, do you?
Am I? Should I?
Yeah, I've been on your panel before.
Huh?
I've been on a panel with you a couple times.
Okay. Yeah.
Fuck
Good,
off.
good evening, Wingnut.
What's going on, Peter?
I just wanted to quickly pop in just to say I'm the guy that's called Tom. I'm the guy that's called Pipe Dreams, and I've been trolling you all night.
Right on.
I just let you know that's all. Anyway, I got nothing more to say. Nice to see you, and it's the first time I've caught you for ages. And I'm an electrician, and if you need any help, mate, I might be able to help, but not tonight.
Oh, right on, right on. Yeah. No worries.
Anyway, I'm gonna leave you, and like I say, I'm gonna troll you as different names in the chat, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Don't take anything personal, but
No
I'm gonna be
worries.
rude. I'm gonna be rude at times.
Right on. No worries.
Enjoy your night, mate. Thanks.
Hey, so I got a question. How many batteries do you have linked up?
6 at the moment, I think, if I remember
Uh,
correctly.
are they all standard car batteries?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
How do you link them all together? Like I noticed that everybody says what is it? Put them in parallel. How do you do that?
What do you mean?
Like
How,
to have them all run into one system?
oh, well, all right. Now, there's a difference between parallel and in series. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The way I got it, man, it's where all the batteries, instead of doubling in voltage and stuff like that, they just basically all stay 12 volt. All right, the way I think it's in parallel. Yeah, parallel. I think it is parallel, if I remember correctly. But anyway, yeah, where positive, 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 negative, 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 negative. If you go positive to negative to negative to positive, negative, that kind of stuff, you double. Like each one, like for instance, one 12-volt battery, if you did that, if you went from positive to negative, and then vice versa on the other, and you end up getting 24 volts instead of 12 volts. So the way I'm doing it is in parallel, so where all of them just stay 12 volt. It's one big battery in a sense, instead of just one single
Okay,
car.
so
It's all of
you
them.
don't do the power, you just continue flow so you get more time, right?
What now?
You don't like double the power, you just keep them all as one and that just extends your life.
Yeah, well, see, my radio system, it runs off of 12 volts. Maybe I mean it can handle probably 14, maybe volts or something like that coming into it. So I can't really run more than that. So I'm trying to keep all the system that runs the radio all 12 volts. Um, you know, or a 12-volt type system or whatever, you know, anywhere from 12 to 14, 14.5, somewhere around there, maybe at the top end. And then, you know, just in staying constant around that. If I can stay close to, you know, 12 volts or a little, maybe just a hair below it, but on a constant, even when I'm talking or even get like long-winded, I'm all right with that. I can handle that because then my battery, I can do the type of talking I want to do on the radio with what I'm using, and yeah, and everything. The batteries are holding the charge like they should, all that kind of stuff. I just would,
Now,
I would like to
when you go to recharge them, how do you recharge them? Are you solar charging, or how does that work?
not at the moment. I mean, I did during the hurricane, but at the moment, I've just got a like a regular car battery charger, but it's on a 2 amp trickle charge at the moment, just kind of keeping everything topped off.
It takes a little while.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but I try and keep them pretty much charged all the time. And I mean, unless I get on the radio and I do a lot of talking, it'll bring the voltage down on the batteries. So yeah, it takes a little while for it to, you know, to catch up with 2 amps. I got a what is it, a 10 amp setting too, and a 30 amp setting, but I that's only if I really just deplete the batteries really low. You know what I mean? I might jump onto that.
If I wanted to charge, or if I wanted to be able to push something like maybe 4,000 watts total, and we'll say like 12-hour to 14-hour intervals, is that possible on batteries or no?
Not really on lead acid batteries like car batteries. Not really. I don't think so. On a continuous or intervals. Intervals. I'm
Just
just
12 hours at a time, continuous flow.
yeah. No, me personally, I do not think so. Like even if you get deep cycle shit, I really don't think so. I think you should like me personally. I'm really looking into this lithium, you know, and capacitor type technology and stuff like that. It's um, you get more out of it for you know, less space, less weight, um, versus like the lead acid batteries too.
Have you ever checked out the or heard of Battleborn batteries?
Maybe.
They're like specialized batteries. It's really fucking neat. I was looking. I'm trying to make an off-grid system and learn what exactly I could use and what I couldn't use. But what I was looking for was something to be able to push like 4,000 total watts continuous for 12 hours.
You know, it depends on how you're going to keep that charged up. You know what I mean? Even if you had that system, what's going to charge it back up?
It would have to be a combination of things. One would be, I was looking into linking it into a river, and then having one of the fucking. I've been watching a bunch of videos on turning like washing machines into actual motors and
Right, right.
recharging that. And then another way would be wind, and then the most preferable way, other than water, I'd like to do it off of water completely, like all water. But that's going to be pretty fucking hard, and I'd have to be linked into like a really, really flowing ass stream,
Do
and
you,
then I'd have to like, you know, pitch it.
do you have
But
water on your property or something?
well, I still got to buy the property, but I was just trying to figure out what different systems I could use on it.
Yeah, right.
You know, when I do buy the property, there will be water nearby. I'll have to buy it by like a river that I can tap into.
There's a number of different ways. Um,
That part I pretty much got figured out. I just need to know, like, is that even possible on a battery system? Because a lot of these fucking videos that people show, they say that, you know, you could run like a whole fucking house of stuff, and I need
yeah,
to know it's like factual that can actually take place.
I could tell you this right now, just like on what I have set up right now, I can run my
Mhm.
radio stuff. That's pretty much it. I cannot run a
Okay.
refrigerator. I cannot run the well, my pump to my well. I cannot run an air conditioner. I cannot really run a fan. I mean,
Uh,
it's really, I mean, with lead acid batteries, I mean, like I said, once those batteries get down to a half full status, they're pretty much a dead battery. They're
right.
useless after that because once they get down to like down to like 10 volts or less, they're pretty much a useless thing because everything that runs off of 12 volts won't have enough juice to power it because if it's got, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you might
That's
be able to run LEDs for a while, but I mean, on a
that.
realistic scenario, like off grid type of shit, yeah, the battery system, I would personally, I would look into more of the lithium type of stuff or, you know, these new capacitors and stuff like that, or a
Mhm.
mixture of the two, in my opinion. That's what I'm thinking about is a mixture of the two.
From what I was watching, that would be the only way is to have a mixture of both. Like what I was thinking is maybe I could, instead of having like a power pool like with the batteries, if I
Mhm.
could just have direct, input from the motor. I don't really know how to explain it, but it would be from the motor directly into the devices with like I guess you'd call it a capacitor. I guess that's what I would use.
Mm. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well,
I got ideas in my head. Now, this is all science fiction at the moment because I haven't
right.
built one. But I got an idea in my mind where I'll have an electric generator in
Uh-huh.
line along with a couple other stuff, man. So it was always continuously generating enough electricity to run whatever load that I have. And then
Uh-huh.
I always have a battery backup if that's not charging any longer. Or whatever. I'm not even sure. I got an idea in my head, but I'm just not sure how I'm going to do it yet. But I need to generate enough electricity to run, for instance, my refrigerator, freezer, my
Right.
the like for instance here at the property at the moment. I mean, it would be nice to be able to run the pump to the well, so I have water. And then, you know, whatever else, like, you know, my hot water heater, my air conditioner, you know, lights, whatever else, fans and shit, whatever else, you know what I mean? So I got to figure out how to generate enough to do that. And I can't do it just on solar. I might have to do a mixture of a few things. I don't
Right.
have water on the property that I can tap into, so I got to do something else.
Yeah. That's definitely one thing that I'm gonna have to have is the water because that's gonna be the only way I can generate the electricity flow.
Well, I mean, you know, that's if it's year round type of a stuff, you know. I mean, some of them things, you know, you only get part of the year sometimes, you know, depending on where you're at, you know, and I mean, if it flows year round,
Yeah, it would flow. Yeah, I'm thinking
yeah.
because even with the ice, it's not gonna freeze the whole river. It just won't. Not the areas I'm looking.
Well, I
I
mean,
was
you know,
looking
there's, you
up
know, I
in
mean,
Boise.
it's just like, you know, some places, man, you know, during the winter time, it flows really good, or it doesn't flow at all, or, you know, vice versa. You know, sometimes some places are like that. You know.
Fucking off grid is so goddamn hard. What the fuck?
Well, it's done that way on purpose, man. When it comes down to well, it nothing worth doing is actually easy. But
Yeah,
the only reason why a lot of these conveniences come in is so that we become dependent on that and forget about the old ways of being dependent on ourselves. You know, self-reliant. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's true.
But I mean, it doesn't have to be like the lone wolf out there fucking living in a cave or a mud hut or whatever. It's just that we as a people have to get back into that mind state of actually, you know, of self-reliance and you know, respect and also like, you know, self-responsibility. But if everybody had that, you know, I mean, you know, the the commonality would come out to the point where we would actually be helpful in a lot of ways, be more cooperative. You know,
Well, yeah, you
that's
wouldn't have to depend on a system, and you wouldn't even need a government because you'd see life for what it actually is.
Yeah.
Or at least what it should be. We'll just say that. What it should be.
Nah, people just need to start looking behind the curtain.
Well, they won't. They traded liberty for safety a long time ago, and they're comfortable with it. That's the scary part. At least that's how I feel about it. I remember, growing up and shit, and my dad teaching me how to do certain shit, and I remember the sense of fulfillment it brought, and that's what I want to get back.
Right.
Basically, the power is just to be able to grow vegetables year round and not have to rely on like canning or any of that shit. Just have fresh produce year round, have whatever I want.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to have just somebody that does that around here that's better at it than I am, because I'm better at other things. I'm not really good at growing like a lot of food. I can grow some things, but I'm not really good at growing enough to like keep myself fed. So it'd be nice to have other people that are trying to, live like that, and they have more than they can eat, and they want to, do a trade maybe or something. You know what I mean? Like I know a guy who's got like, 10 chickens, man. He's like, every time I go over there, he's giving me like 3 dozen of eggs. You know what I mean? It's like, and he's just giving them away.
That's
I'm
the way
just
to
like,
be.
well, that's the thing. It's like if we all become in our own way, you know what I mean? We're all have our own talents, our own, skill set, and we combine that in a sense in our own society, in our own way of life, instead of through that system.
Right.
It's just trying to get everybody on board, where they want to go guard that freedom with basically jealous fervor. You know what I mean?
They're lost. They have no idea what the hell real freedom is. They think that real
That's true.
freedom
Well,
is.
no, nobody really knows today. Nobody really knows because none of us have really been free, unless you've lived on like a commune all your life, never dealt with the outside world. You know what I mean?
That came pretty close to it. Pretty close. It was fun times, and that's the only reason why I'm even considering it again. Because, like I said, man, fulfillment. It's better, way fucking better.
What's up, authority check?
I have no problem with the outside world, but fuck, not exactly the easiest to live in. Is AC here?
What's up, Keith?
AC, up there, buddy.
I agree when it comes down to a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff would be more advanced, and if we were just left alone without restrictions. And when it comes down to certain things, there's a lot of restrictions and stuff that actually stagnates progress or growth, and that's done on purpose.
Yeah, it keeps us on their track.
Well, so they can keep their perceived power, and everybody else is just down there groveling for the crumbs.
Yep, pretty much. The rat race ain't all it's cracked up to be, and I knew that very early in life.
Well, that's where all this convenience shit has fucking gotten us. A bunch of people got fat and happy, and with those fucking, got fucking Jerry Springer and the fucking American Gladiator and goddamn McDonald's and
where it all went
fucking,
wrong.
you know what I mean? And convenience stores. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't pass by a register nowadays without seeing a candy bar next to it.
Impulse buys.
It's just that's the thing, dude. It's like this convenience it's actually, that is the trap.
Yeah, it's shitty.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you that, like when anti-gravity and stuff like that becomes like a commonplace everyday thing, it's some amazing things are going to happen. Because I mean, seriously, if that technology is out in the open. There's going to be masses of amounts of different other technologies that will sprout off of that.
Well, yeah. Just from my generation, I was born in '89, and
Okay.
the changes that I've seen in just the last probably 15 years, it's fucking astronomical. I mean, I have no idea. I never thought I would see this type of bullshit in my life. Never, 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 never.
Yeah. Well,
Trippy, really. It's scary.
I've been watching a lot of this stuff when it comes down to technology, when it comes down to AI, cybernetics, robotics. I'm watching the evolution of it and how fast it's been doing it, and I can see if it continues in this track, which it's going to do anyway, because there's a lot of people invested on being the first on a lot of levels. So the it's not going to stop. This track is not going to stop unless something, I don't know, massively biblical happens and puts everything on a massive halt. It ain't going to stop. So it's going to continue on this track. And you think about it, what's inevitably about is going to happen in the future if it continues in this track. And
It ain't gonna be free, that's for sure.
well, okay, I have to agree on certain aspects, but the thing is, man, it depends on how free you really want to be and how far you really want to take it to be that free. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
but
know,
I
it,
think eventually it
the
won't
other
even be.
side. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I honestly think that eventually we right now we still have somewhat of a choice in what we choose, how we choose to live, and what we choose to do with our lives. Even if we choose to do nothing with our lives and we just live, it just we won't have that choice, and that's fucking scary as shit.
But why will not we not have that choice? Why will we not have that choice? And you're echoing too. I'm sorry. If you got something else playing in the background, just your speaker, I guess. I don't know. Just letting you
No,
know.
yeah, I got my shitty mic. My other mic's charging. I thought
Oh
I had
yeah,
it
right on.
charged.
No worries.
Right. Yeah, I just think that eventually, you know how everyone's a willing participant in the rat race right now? Go to work, come home, feed the family, shit like that. Um, I think that eventually there won't, and this is going to sound crazy as fuck, but I think that there won't be currency like we have it today. The currency will all be tracked. I think that there won't be any free enterprise left. Uh, and if that happens, I don't think that people, there will be so much less choices in life to be able to be productive, and it just we won't even know what free really is. It'll just be you have a job, and that's your job. Period.
Damn, that
Like that.
sounds a lot like China.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're fucking headed towards, unfortunately.
So, well, okay. Um, what? I let me put it this way. This machine that you're speaking of is massive. I get it. It's huge, and it's like, it stretches in many different facets. But there's
Right.
many, many, many moving parts to this machine, this massive monster, and there's many, many, many ways to like throw a wrench in the whole goddamn thing and fuck it all up.
Absolutely.
All right, now each one of us, we all have our own talents, and we actually have our own skills. Each one of us do, and each one of us have our own way of throwing a wrench in the whole mix. It depends on
Yeah.
how far you really want to go. I mean, are you really wanting to like sacrifice everything, like some people in the past have done, for freedom and freedom for the next generations to come? I mean that's where really people have to actually come to terms with themselves you know, what they're gonna do, and what they're willing to do, and what they're willing to, where they're gonna draw the line. You know.
Yeah, I think I was having a talk. Nude Guru and me were talking one night, and we came to the conclusion that he has one side of thinking that, you know, how do I explain it? He thinks that, like, anarchy at its truest form, that eventually we would have a growth phase, okay, and we would have, like, I guess you'd call it dark days, you know, where you'd be, like, not governed, and then
Yeah,
you'd
like a
have,
transition from one to the next.
yeah, you'd have, like, you know, a transition, and it'd be scary as fuck because a lot of people would not conform, or people would go to the other extreme and just go straight up fucking selfishness and self-centeredness. But then at the end of all that, you would have conformity to, you know, basic principles of life, like do no harm to your fellow man and try and be helpful, and eventually get back to older ways of doing things because you see the
The
frivolousness.
golden rule, basically.
Right, exactly, exactly. And I had the idea, and I still have the idea of, I don't think that there's enough people with enough morals these days in order to make it through that dark time. I think that we're outnumbered, and I don't think that we would actually survive that. And I think that it would be just a
Do
horrible, horrible fucking experience.
do you think they would survive the dark times?
I think their evil would make them a lot more prevalent, and they would survive.
Well, okay, I'll give you I mean, all right. There's a lot of them that think if they actually kiss ass and brown nose enough with evil, they will be spared. They'll have immunity, but that is a lie.
You're
It's actually
fucked.
happened many, 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 many times before. I mean,
Yeah,
you
they're
look at
fucked.
like Mussolini and was it Mao and fucking Hitler. Actually, I mean, like Hitler and was it? I think Mussolini was like the worst. I think if I remember correctly, because like Mao and Hitler, like they're like number two people. You know, they're like people that were right close to him and stuff. They didn't get
Yep.
killed until like later or something like that, or they were spared a little bit. But you know, there was a lot of other people that were killed that were on the same side. And Mussolini, I think he killed everybody. He's like,
Yeah.
fuck it, I don't give a shit if you're like part of my fucking court or not. I don't care. Boom, I'm gonna kill you too. So like
I'm gonna make
nobody was fucking you know, safe. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like some of these people that think that they can just kiss ass and fucking brown nose to the evil, and they're gonna be exempt. And that's not true. They'll be in a ditch, fucking shot in the head, just like anybody else, also, because you will be useless after a while. Once they gain the control that they're asking for, that you gave it to them, they'll kill you because they'll have no more use for you. That's the
it's like,
simple truth.
it's
You know,
like when you go and you experience your first couple days in jail. Okay, you're going to have this moment that is going to basically define how your time in jail is going to be lived. You either bow down and submit, or you fucking raise up your hands and say, I won't be fucked with, period. And everybody has that choice to make. Whether they want to make it or not, you're going to have to make that fucking choice. And you're going to have to tread some waters that you never treaded or even thought about or even considered in your entire lifetime of existence. Like, never really thought that that would actually come up. But there's going to come a time where you have to fucking stand up to it. And if you don't, well, then that's going to write your ticket for the entire fucking stay. And I think that the same thing would happen in the world if if we're if we're not governed, okay, and we actually did have, I guess there's no other word for it. If you did have a system based off of anarchy, and I'm not talking about what they show on television. I'm not showing, talking about just all out fucking evil, because it's not going to be all out evil. You're going to have certain sectors where it's not evil and where it actually does work.
Okay,
And that's
there's a
anarchy.
difference between anarchy and chaos. Okay, I'm just letting you know. Yeah, there's a difference between the two. Chaos is when there's all that death and destruction, Molotov cocktails and shit like that. That's chaos. That's not anarchy. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're going to have that in the mix of it, and chaos is going to be a part of it. But at the end of it, you're going to have anarchy at its truest form. The chaos comes
What
when everything.
exactly? What do you think an anarchy is in its truest form?
Freedom.
Okay.
If you have the right, um, how would I say it? If you have the right circumstances, it would work. But I don't think that right now or ever it will work because you're already
Put it
past
this way.
that. There's
I bet you. I will bet you whatever. I mean, I don't have anything really, but I would bet you everything I had. If we were to get rid of all governments right now, all right, and all of them were just gone, within one generation, things would be a whole shitload fucking better. I mean, it'd be a hard time for that first generation, but within one generation, everything would be like so much better, and that would be in the part of true anarchy. It would take a generation to do that, to get past the growing pains, in a sense, from transitioning from no government to actually, and seeing the light, in a sense. It would
I
take a
agree.
whole generation, in my opinion. I mean, it's kind of like, for instance, if you were just to like decriminalize all drugs within a year, within one generation, you'll start to see the whole, like, like junkie type shit would fucking
Yeah.
the whole problem would go down to almost nothing, because the
Well,
next generation, majority of them were like, I'm not going to be like that. I don't want to be like that junkie. So they'll grow up to be fucking straight people. You know what I mean?
100% right on that. And if anyone tends to differ with what me and you are thinking on those lines, look at Europe and look at their addiction rate. It's like fucking not even a percent. It's like a fraction of a fucking percent. You know why? Because they're not being told that they can't do something. It's
Right.
fucking human
Well,
nature when you're told.
it put a stigmatization, on like the whole, like, you have to hide and everything, and all this other shit. But then once people start to see that, they're like, well, they don't even want to even go in that direction. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? It's like, that's another
Yep.
thing too. It's like okay, there's like, it's like a kid that grows up in a home where the parents are both alcoholics, and they were always, doing this shit or whatever. A lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, that kid grows up to be a person that never even touched alcohol. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And
Because you know.
it's one of them things. It's like, it's the same thing. If we were to get rid of all governments right now, we would just like say fuck them to all of them. You know what I mean? And dude, within one generation, this fucking planet would be badass.
I just would. I don't know. There's something inside me
It
that
would take
tells
a
me.
it would take a while to rebuild from what was destroyed within that generation. That first
What I'm
growing pains.
The only thing that I would be worried about is if there were all of a sudden, like, people's real fucking self came out and what we thought was a good person, yeah, that was the worst one of them all. But then you got the flip side where what we thought was the worst person turns into one of the best people we've ever known. So that's 22.
I mean, I'll just say fair enough, because I'm not sure how to respond to that. But I mean, I'll say fair enough. But
It'll be a
because I
scary.
really don't put anything past it. I really don't. Because honestly, man, I expect the absolute fucking worst. Because I mean, even like from, like, if you look at history of governments all the way, back, and what governments have actually done in the past, and actually, and justified it, dude. I, 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 the way I see it,
Yeah.
man, I can imagine the most terrible thing that governments could do to us right now, and then just add that, times that by 10, and that's how bad it can really probably get close to being. You know what I mean? I'll be close to the ballpark.
The really
Because
fucked up part is we're watching it right now, and it's like small scale with what like Trudeau's doing right now. We're kind of watching that
Dude,
effect take
okay,
place.
this is the thing too, man. I knew they were going to try and flip this shit also, and they're using that emergency power scenario. See, that's another thing
Yeah,
too that they even here in the U.S., they've already got all this emergency power bullshit fucking already written into law or in the statutes. I got an old PDF on my phone of like where it was like back in 2010 or something like that, where it wrote in the legislation where it was like for relocation of civilians into camps and stuff, and it just goes into detail on how all that's supposed to be done and all this stuff. But that was in 2010.
About, I know exactly what you're talking about.
But I'm just saying, it's like it's already. See, that's the thing. Even like here in Florida, I mean, you know, DeSantis is putting all this good stuff like in your face, but there's some stuff that he kind of like pushed under the rug and kind of like slid under the he just kind of slid in there. Like for instance, here in Florida, for instance, he's given full authority to the health minister guy or whatever it is. I can't remember the fucking dude's name or whatever. But anyway, like the head of the health thing here in Florida and for the state, and he's given them full authority under emergency powers when that becomes necessary, where he can actually snatch people out of their home and detain them for probably indefinitely, and then also jab them with the fucking crap against their will.
It's straight up sheep and wolf, or wolf and sheep's clothing.
Well, I mean, it's already in legislation to give them. It's already given them permission when those things are like, for instance, the Go Code. You know, like, oh, this is a state of emergency. Boom, there you go. There's the Go Code. When those type of words get uttered out into the public realm by those people in those jobs, those are Go Codes for certain policies, certain legislation, certain agencies to get kicked in. You know what I'm saying?
You remember when they first tested martial law, right?
Well, see, that's another thing too. When it comes down to those boys in the camouflage, all right.
Yep.
Now, this is a telltale sign on what level of martial law you're in. All right. If you see those people, if you see the boys in camouflage, all right, and they're not wearing any kind of a sidearm, or they're not carrying a rifle or anything like that, all right, that's soft martial law. Now, if they are only carrying a sidearm, that's medium. Now, if they're carrying a sidearm and a rifle, that's heavy martial law. That's the grading, basically. If you see these guys in the neighborhood, no matter what they're doing, if you see that, and that you can tell, that'll tell you what stage of martial law you're actually in. You know what I'm saying?
Austin was the first one to experience it. I remember watching it on TV, and I was like, "No fucking way! Did that really just happen?"
The thing is, man, a lot of people, they've got that cognitive dissonance type of thing. Well, if it didn't happen in their neighborhood, that just doesn't really matter, because it's like, oh, that didn't happen here. That didn't happen to me. You know what I'm saying? But if it was to happen nationwide or worldwide, you know, that's a different story. Everybody will have no choice to be a part of it, or we're all in this together type of scenario, right?
Yep. But if they do it in stages, then all of a sudden it's a slow trickle, and it eventually becomes a fucking worldwide thing, and that's fucking scary.
Well, the thing is, man, the tighter they squeeze that fist, the more shit's gonna squeeze through the fingers. That's the only thing. You know, they can't get all of us. And I'm not saying I'm untouchable either. You know what I'm saying? But they can't.
I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
I mean, there's
everybody,
individuals. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly why the framers gave us the rights that we have. Everybody learned the Constitution when they were in high school. Some people took it seriously. Some people didn't. I looked at those laws, and I talked to my old man about them. I talked to my grandfather about them, and they all said the same fucking thing. Don't ever forget the reasons why we have the rights that we do. It's for a reason. And when you start seeing shit like this that we're seeing right now, it becomes very prevalent in some people's minds why we have rights and how important they actually are. It's not. Safety is our rights. Remember that, America. Safety is our rights, and they're God given, meaning that when we were born, we have rights. And if you don't use them, you will fucking lose them. There's no other way to look at it.
And that means, I mean, okay, now that's another thing too. I mean, there's a lot of things that people will actually not like. See, self-defense can be very violent, and violence can be used for good. All right.
Yep.
And some people are very turned off with violence. They just don't want to see it. They don't want to be a part of it and all that other shit. But that may come down to that point. Are you willing to just let you lay your life down to somebody to fucking take your life, or are you willing to fight for it, or your loved ones, or I mean, um,
Die on my feet than live on my knees.
but that's the thing. It's like, so many people have never had to deal with that because they've lived this safe type of a life, and if it all of a sudden was taken away from them, what would they do? They're soft target. They're the like the stragglers on the back end, the wolves that like the kid. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Uh,
Totally agree. You're
but that's
down in Florida.
say what now?
You're down in Florida, right?
Yeah, yeah.
See, when I lived down in Florida, I used to live in Cape Coral for about like 4 or 5 years. And when I was like, the first time I lived in Florida, I was about 14, 15. And I remember when Andrew, Charlie, and Francis came through and just destroyed shit. I mean, we were without power for like fucking 20 some odd days for Charlie. And then when Francis came through, we were without power for like 7 days. And it was like fucking 3 months. We got smacked hard. Like, it was fucked up. It was bad. And I remember, the National Guard's going around off water and shit, and fucking everybody freaking the fuck out. I mean, freaking out. And when I seen that, and I experienced life without power for the first time in my entire life, like extended amounts of, time without power or without ability to go and get food and other shit like that.
Right, right.
My grandpa looked at me and was like, "You're scared as fuck, ain't you?" I was like, a little bit." He's like, "Why?" I was like, everything I know is gone. I'm running out of batteries on my Game Boy and kind of freaking out." He's like, "Don't freak out." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Because this is life. And if you don't learn to deal with shit like this, when the real shit happens, you'll have no mind frame to go through it."
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
was right.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, was it Hurricane Michael that came through here? I was out of power for like almost 2 weeks. All right, and that's still a long time because I mean, there was no gas pumps working, the cell phones were out. There's a lot of places that generators were like run out of gas. And, I didn't have anything, other than what I can generate on the batteries. But with the solar panels that I have, it's only like like 100 watts, like max, but it doesn't get 100 watts out of those panels, man. And it just takes a while to trickly charge them batteries up, and to use anything, man. It's like that's the thing about the lead acid. To use anything off of it, it drains them down so fast to half, like down to less than 11 watts, and then they're just
Right.
useless after that. I mean, anything that you were running that was running off a 12 volt wouldn't have enough juice once it gets down to 11 or below, and then it's like you can't even use it. So I mean, that's on the halfway mark of your voltage. So I mean,
Yeah. It's a scary concept because you drop below halfway, you're fucked.
well, that's the thing is like you get the lithium batteries, you can take that thing and you can drain them all the way down to zero, and they will hold that continuous charge pretty much the whole time. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And it will stay like, around the 12 volt or 13 volt or whatever, or depending on what you got going on, but it would stay around that the whole time until you get down to like zero, zero. I mean, instead of, dimming out basically. You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
um, and that's the advantage. And plus, they charge faster. Um, that's the other reason why I'm wanting to put the capacitors in line. They charge a whole hell of a lot faster. I've used one of them, the stereo capacitors that you put in a car stereo thing. I've used
Yeah, pretty
that. I've used that on my radios, and that actually has worked. So I might do that again if it's still in good shape. I might actually incorporate that along with some ones off of those microwaves and see what happens with that. It's an interesting experiment I'm thinking about with my radio stuff. But then I also need to figure out how I'm going to charge everything better. You know what I mean? I need to eventually probably make some kind of a wind turbine for one. And then when it comes down to the solar, I'd like to get some better panels, but I don't really have the money for that right now.
That
Working
shit
on it.
is expensive. Fuck.
Well, I mean, you see all these like a lot of these like billboards, and also like sometimes like some city or something like that. They've got a lot of these like street lights or lights for the billboards that are running off of solar. You know, sometimes they change the panels out, and sometimes the panels might not be in bad shape, and you can probably get them for cheap. You know, I mean, I'm thinking outside the box. You know, I mean, I don't know exactly, but
That's pretty good. I didn't even think of that.
well, I mean, you think they got a lot of these like the street lights or sometimes like this other stuff that is like cities or something like that, like the state or whatever would use for different projects. When like even like the blinking lights in schools, sometimes a lot of those blinking lights are just run off of little solar panels up there, and sometimes they change them out, and they go bad, or they want to put a new one on or whatever. You
They
know,
deem it. Yeah, that's
I'm not
true.
sure exactly what they do with some of that old stuff. I mean, depending on what's wrong with it, it's probably repairable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they just want the fast fix. That's a good point. I never thought of that.
I mean, I'm sure there's something they don't get. I don't know if they get destroyed. It depends on what they send them to. There's probably some kind of a secondhand type of thing like that somewhere. Fuck, I don't know. I'm surprised there wouldn't be.
Hmm. That's a damn good point. Think
Like
I
even
need to
like
cut.
somebody that was like had a whole solar panel system on their home or whatever, and then they decide to sell it. You know what I mean? And, there's depending on like I don't know, depends on you can probably get that pretty good price. Who knows? It's just I don't really have the money at the moment. That's my problem at the moment. Uh, I'd like to be able to buy this property off my dad, and then I'd go from there. But until I actually have a property for myself to do it on,
No
uh,
sense in doing it. I know what you're saying.
yeah, in a way, I mean, I can do that, but it's just like, man, I kind of need to actually like concentrate on getting enough money to buy a piece of property for myself. If I don't buy this one off of them, finding another one somewhere else. Um, that's to start with. And I don't give a shit if I find another piece of property somewhere else. I won't probably move this thing over there. I'll probably start off with like fucking tent to begin with, or
That's
or
not
like
bad.
or
Not a
like
bad
move
idea.
my van over there and use that to live in, and then fucking just whatever,
Go.
and then start from there. You know. Eventually, like I'd like to see if I bought this piece, I'd wall up that pole barn and I'd build like part of that is in my house. You know what I mean? That'd be kind of cool. Make it look like a barn from the outside and just like fucking totally nice on the inside, or half of it.
Like a fucking
You know?
mansion inside. Hell yeah. That's not bad. I mean, if I actually had the carpentry skills that like my dad has, oh my god, I would have
Dude,
already fucking bought a plot.
I'm telling you, if I had the money to do it all myself, pretty much, that's what I'd like to do. I like how sometimes like some Japanese like type of homes are built. I also like how like a lot of those some of those homes has got like secret passages and shit like that. I love
Yep.
stuff like that. Um, um, You know what I mean? So, and also, man, I would like to put a huge underground something. I mean, see, Florida doesn't have basements. We don't put basements in Florida. There's just like everything's pretty much ground level. I mean, water or sea level. So
Yeah.
it's not, you know, but if I had this piece of property, for instance, what my dad has right now, it's actually I can probably put something in the ground and I wouldn't have to worry about it because I'm kind of high above. I'm about 200 foot above sea level, so I can
Oh, you're
probably
good.
I'm probably all right. I could put something down below and then have a huge man cave down there. You know,
That would be dope.
it would be fucking badass, man. You know.
I mean, I watched a couple of those builds where they use the big ass fucking, what was it? I think it was like 20 foot around. Um, it's not cast iron. It's like aluminum mix to the point where it's pliable, but not where it would actually like implode. Big ass tube in the ground type shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen those because there's this one Atlas um Atlas bunker company as they make bunkers and stuff like that. That's what they use. The big corrugated tube like a
Spiral.
drainage tube. Yeah.
Yeah, just like yep. That's what I was watching.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's the stuff right there.
Yeah, there's this company called Atlas that he's even got a YouTube channel actually also. You should check his ass out, man. I mean, he does a lot of good stuff. When it comes down to the different, the different styles. He's got the ones that are the tubes. He's got the ones that are actually just built boxes. And then he's got like double stack type stuff. The way he's got it. I mean, it's different configurations. It depends on how much money you want to spend. You know, it's just it's pretty crazy. But I thought about it. I was
So,
like, if I was living near him, I'd love to weld for him. I'd love to do the welding.
see, that's one thing I never really was too bad at is welding. Welding, I mean, like, I make a lot of mistakes and it doesn't look fucking pretty, but it does the fucking job.
Oh yeah, right on. Well, I don't claim to be like, watertight type welding, but I can weld. Um, but that's actually
Well,
what I'm kind of doing
watertight's
right now
pretty
for
fucking
money.
hard. If you can weld watertight, I mean, that's pretty much master level.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, it's just, I haven't really uh practiced enough to do that yet, man. I mean, I thought about it at one time, man, because I had my scuba license, and I was thinking about doing underwater welding, and because I saw the amount of money that comes out of that, but I was like, nah, I ended up not doing it.
It's one of the most well-paid jobs in the fucking world.
It's also one of the dangerous ones too.
Oh hell yeah! Fuck yeah! I've watched some of that shit before, and that's some fucking. You got some serious balls if you do that for a living and you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, dude, it's just crazy. But I mean, I like diving. I like the underwater stuff, and I was like, well, I might as well mix welding and underwater stuff all together, And then I started looking at it, and I was like, ah, man, I was like, I didn't want to try and get that. I didn't want to have like the have. I didn't want to try and get that good at it. I don't know, man. It just seemed a little bit too more than I really wanted to deal with because I was like started more and the more I looked into it, I was like, holy shit, these
Yeah,
guys.
there's a lot to it.
Yeah, these guys are like fucking hardcore welders. You know what I mean? I wouldn't, in my opinion. Yeah, but some of these guys they're working on like pipelines, and then they're also working on like oil rigs and shit like that. And I'm like, God dang! And
Those
some of the
fuckers, they're
most,
working on loaded lines and shit. Fuck that.
yeah,
Fuck that. Oh my god, that would scare the fuck out of me.
dude.
Imagine making a mistake on a fucking loaded line. You become just a nothing. You're fucked.
That's the
Uh-uh.
only thing, man. It's like, the only thing is like, having something big nudge next to you or something like that. What the fuck was that?
Exactly. Okay.
Like,
Fuck
some-
that. Nothing just fucking stroked my leg and said hello. Fuck that.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. There was one time I was diving out. Was it outside of West Palm Beach? And it was me and my dad and my brother and a group of other, like, I don't know, it was like 6 other people or something like that. And we went about, I don't know, about 5 miles offshore, like where this like coral reef and shit is. And we were diving down there, and we were just kind of having, our own little thing. And I was down on some coral, and I was trying to tickle a lobster out of some coral. And I
Right?
happened to see this shadow go over me. Kind of like, what like an airplane would, put a shadow on the ground when it goes over the ground. That's what it reminded me of when I saw this thing, because I'm looking down and I see this shadow go over me, and I'm like, was that a fucking airplane? And I look up and I see my brother and my dad like pointing, and I look over where they're pointing, and it was a fucking shark, a big motherfucker. And it just like floated right over top of me and shit. You know what I mean?
The
And
fuck up.
yeah, no kidding.
Where the
Dude,
fuck?
I just kind of just watched it and shit. It just kept on going and stuff. But luckily, it didn't pay attention to any of us, I guess. But
Thank God.
I mean, I assume by its markings, it was a nurse shark. So they're generally calmer. They're not really aggressive all that much. So, but it was a big motherfucker, and and I'm sitting there. I didn't even know. All I saw was shark. I'm like, oh fuck, you know.
Look up, fuck around, and see a mako shark swim fucking across. You're like, oh my god, I'm about to die.
Yeah, dude, yeah, man.
Fuck that. I wouldn't. I'd go nuts. You'd never see me get in the water again.
Well, I tell you this, I'd rather fuck around with the shit on freshwater than I would all the stuff that's in the saltwater, man. Because
Oh yeah, of course. Oh
I'd rather deal with like alligators and all that other shit. I can deal with all that, but damn fucking sharks and
yeah.
everything
Alligators
else.
and sharks are fucking. That's a whole nother ball of wax right there. Sharks are designed to kill. Not that alligators aren't, but I'd
Well, yeah,
rather take with an alligator than a shark.
I think their alligators and sharks are just about as old when it comes down to they're dinosaurs basically. But fucking I can handle an alligator, but a damn shark. I mean, you
You're
know,
fucked.
dude,
You're
it's just,
fucked.
man, they could come out of fucking nowhere, man. It's like, I mean, you think you can see for a distance, but that motherfucker just come out of fucking nowhere. It's like you turn your head and like a second later, that motherfucker's right up on you, and you're like, where the fuck, you know? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd much rather get thrown into a fucking pond with an alligator than in the ocean with a shark. Fuck that.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. I'm gonna tell you, I try to stick around places where I can see where I'm going. So even if they do, or even if they are around me, I can see them coming. You know what I mean? Um, I don't give them a chance to sneak up on my ass. I don't like that. I don't like being snuck up on like that. That sucks ass, man. And them sharks and fucking gators, they can do it if you're not careful.
Hell yeah, they're good at it.
Well, yeah, man. Millions of years of practice.
Yeah,
And
fuck water.
you're going into their world when you actually, when you step into it, you know what I mean?
Yep,
I
you're
mean,
out
it's
of
kind of,
place. You don't know how to react to it. It's fucking scary.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, um, I don't know. I like diving though. I was wanting to do cave diving and shit and wreck diving and stuff. And, um, but yeah, It's one of them things. But I like freshwater better. I've been hanging out with these damn springs, these big freshwater springs and stuff, man. That's pretty cool. I can do diving in that too, but it's just crystal clear.
Yeah, yeah, I'd be down with that. If I could see, then yeah, that's cool.
Dude, even snakes that come at you, man, you can see them coming at you from a long distance away. You know what I
Pretty
mean?
much.
And an alligator, majority of the time, they don't want to hang out at freshwater springs because it's too damn cold. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so, you know, there's just some of that thing, you know. And then fresh water. I mean, you don't have to worry about the salt fucking crap and all that stuff at the end of the day, sand, and you got shade versus a beach. You don't, you know what I mean? I don't know. I've just been around beaches most of my life. I'm fucking over it.
Well, I'm gonna go make me some food. It was fun chatting with you. I appreciate it. And yeah,
All right, man.
be back on your panel soon.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, like I said, check my other channel out, man. I'm gonna try and do more of this type of panel shit, like over on the other one.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Anarchy TV. It's gonna be like a little hashtag and the actual number two. So it'd be Anarchy TV number two. You see what I'm saying?
Did you make Did you make that channel?
Yeah, that's my other channel. But I'm gonna try and do more of the like the panel talk stuff. I'm gonna try and keep this one more like still the CB fucking skip shit. You know what I mean? So.
Do me a favor. In chat in the YouTube, post that link, and then I'll go and join that one.
Here, hold on. Here, I'll put it on the damn private chat right now. Hold on 1 second.
That'll work.
I think this is it. Check it out. Hold on,
All right.
I have to double check. But anyway, if it's Anarchy TV number two, that's me. I think it's it.
Okay, I got it. Alrighty. Well, I'll be checking it out.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm kind of trying to split them up, basically, split it up, basically, you know, and do more of this type of shit, the talking like panel type stuff, mostly over there, and then kind of keep this with the radio shit. That's what it was all about in the first place, and I'm just gonna keep it that way, and
Right on.
kind of just split it up because I enjoy doing this. I enjoy the talking too, so um, you know, it just it needs to branch out.
Yeah.
I also started a Discord too, man, because I really kind of just only do one thing. I've been doing YouTube for a while, and I've been exploring all over YouTube, and so I'm kind of actually branching out actually for the first time. It's like I started doing some Discord, so I'm on that now, just recently.
You should totally come and join AC's panel one day. It's fucking awesome.
Where?
AC Authority Tech.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is one fucking hilarious panel. I mean, some good, some some of it's kind of childish, but it's a great time.
If I'm not mistaken, I am subscribed to him. If I'm not mistaken.
He was just in the chat a little while ago.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
stopped in. But yeah, I'll check out your other channel, and I'll be subbing to it
Right on, man. I appreciate it, man.
anytime, man. Good people need good people.
Roger.
All right, we'll take it easy, and I'll be seeing you
All right, man. You have a good one.
later, bro.
Okay. Well, Hellfire. Right on, man. Do you even have a channel? F off? You even have a channel that fuck off, man? Yeah, think about it. Oh yeah, that's right. I think I was subscribed to you. Yeah, all the scratch offs and stuff. Anyway. Anyway, it's about 2 hours in. You guys have a good one out there. I am your host for Anarchy TV or Television. Anarchy Television. Yeah, this is and I am the Wingnut Radio. And I'm gonna call it, and I'll see you next time. You know, keep your head on a swivel type of shit, and keep your focus on what the truth is. Keep your focus on the true enemy. Try and find all the little ways in and out and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, double one, double two, then wing that back out.